All right, Tim Stackpool is the freelance journalist we're speaking with now in Australia. He joins us by phone from Sydney. Tim, we saw some video from the TV program that didn't really do justice to the chaos that was caused by our own Justin Bieber. Tell us more about the so-called distressed fan situation and the audience that had been there to see him.
Yes, indeed, Brad. As you correctly reported, 10 young girls were hospitalised for hyperventilation. Now, that was probably due to the crushing of the crowd, as well as the hysteria that was whipped up, as you mentioned, the constant screaming that went on. Some of these girls had difficulty catching their breath, and for that reason, they passed out in the crowd. One of the girls also suffered a fractured knee, and she was taken to hospital to be treated for that. But amazingly, Brad, there were about 3,000 fans who were camped out at the concert location at 3 o'clock this morning, Sydney time. Now, this was a performance that was going to take place during a television breakfast program. There were about 5,000 screaming fans there by 7 o'clock in the morning. And about that time, the crowd surged forward and made their way through the barricades, hit the stage, and of course couldn't go any further, and the police got in touch with the producers and also with Justin Bieber's people and said, look, we really can't have this continue on. It is far too dangerous. So they pulled the plug on the concert. What then happened is the producers announced that Bieber would appear at about an hour later at the TV studios, which is probably about a mile-and-a-half walk from the concert location. So then we had about 7,000 of these fans walking through the streets of downtown Sydney, making their way to this TV studio. It's a glass walled studio, so you can see in. But amazingly, Brad, I've got to say it was a public holiday in Australia today, and for that reason, I think the whole cavalcade of those fans that went down to the TV studio, it didn't strike any traffic or morning commuters.
Yeah.
So we can be thankful for that, Brad.
Boy. So he got partway through his concert at the stadium and ended up having to conclude it at the TV station that was sponsoring the original concert. How well prepared were authorities for something like this?
Well, they probably were very well prepared. The security that was set up was very similar to what we saw for other artists who would appear under the same circumstances. People like Pink or the Pussycat Dolls, or even U2 have appeared in these circumstances. But it was an odd situation. Some of the parents who were with the kids who arrived at around midnight said there are only 1 or 2 security guards. By the morning, there are only 5 or 6. But the television footage certainly shows a lot more police there than usual. One of the things that one of the security supervisors said to me not more than an hour ago, he was just talking to me about it, and he said one of the difficulties is that you've got fans who were not quite rioting but hysterical, but they're only 12, 13, 14 years of age. How does a riot squad deal with that? It's not like we're dealing with fans who are 21 to 30 years of age.
Rock throwing or anything like that.
Put them in the wagons with the police. What do you do with kids who are only going into high school? How do you treat those? So the police said enough is enough. It's got to stop.
Quite a challenge, no doubt. Bieber, just upsetting down under. Tim Stackpool, a freelance journalist in Australia. Good talking to you, Tim.
And you're very welcome, Brad. Good morning.